I make a mean chicken tortilla soup. I shot this video years ago and my beautiful niece Ileana put it together for me. Watch and enjoy. It's not just about the recipe. It's about how to cook, plan a meal, throw a party. I'm Vicki, and this is Meals and Entertaining for Regular People. Hello, this is how you make chicken tortilla soup. So here's my pan, and I put a little olive oil in it. Now, mind you, olive oil is not good to fry with because it breaks down and it'll get bitter. But this is the inexpensive olive oil. But this we buy to cook. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do, so you can see my old big metal pan with all the delicious aging in it. I'm going to put in a little red pepper chili flakes. See how much I got there? That's really a lot because I'm going to heat it up and it's really going to make it spicy. So even though you might be making a pizza and you put way more than that on your pizza, once you cook this in the oil, just brown a little and it brings out the seasoning, it's going to get really hot. So that's like less than a quarter teaspoon. All right, I'm going to stir this around. Hold on, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So we've got the little guys. The little guys will start, actually you'll see a little bit of red. You might see a little bit of red coming off of them, maybe not. Anyway, so I heated this up. So then, I know it'd be more fun to see my face, but then I'm going to do the cheaters, mirepoix. Mirepoix is a French word meaning chopped up, no, I don't know what it means. It's celery, onions, and carrots. And I bought this at Trader Joe's. Mirepoix, that's how you pronounce it. So anyway, I hope you guys aren't getting busy. So anyway, you can probably use 2 celeries, 2 carrots, and a medium onion to achieve the same amount. And this is how I start almost every single, it looks a little dry. We don't want it too oily, we don't want it too dry. This is how you start almost every single soup that I make. Probably a good, at least 75% of every soup has vegetables in it. Even if it rounds out the flavor, so it's just not pure whatever. It makes it, how do I describe it? It adds the richness, just that hidden deliciousness, that extra bit of flavor. So you have to have this, all of these steps. Okay, so I'm going to saute them. I'm not going to burn them, so I'm going to turn this down. I'm going to saute this a little. There we go. Until the onions are a little clear and maybe there's a little cute little brownie egg somewhere. And when it gets to that point, then I'll add the garlic. Because we never fry garlic. It makes it bitter. So you always add it if you want to cook. Some dishes, you have the garlic at the very end, so you get little chunks of garlic that you taste. But mostly you wait until it adds a good level of flavor. Yeah, depth of flavor, that's what I was trying to say. Depth of flavor, that's what this is doing. So if you're making tomato soup, I start with this. Cream of broccoli soup, cream of mushroom soup, I start with this. And then you just blend out the little orange if you want, or if you really don't want any color and you want it to look more pure, you could leave out the orange. And the other thing that I do a lot, so for example, if you want to be vegan today, then I would buy this in a vegetable stock. And the vegetable stock is actually richer because they cook vegetables, so it's just a really good flavor. But since I'm going with a chicken soup, then I'm going to use chicken broth in this case. So we got chicken broth. Okay, so I'm not going to make you watch this cook. And I'm going to go outside and pinch a bay leaf off my tree. I'll be back. Okay. Now you didn't see me put any salt and pepper in because I can't do it one-handed. So imagine, salt and pepper. Just for fun. You should always season each layer. Okay, let's look. See how those are getting a little translucent? Just a little bit. Just coming along. So I would like to get just a pinch of color on it. Not burning it, just color. Okay, so imagine salt and pepper. And so if we're making a different dish, and we wanted to add wine to it. So if I was doing I do brandy, no, cooking sherry, I use for my tomato soup. Well, all of this is like this. I would pour in the cup. It's usually always a cup, so that's a good rule of thumb. A cup of wine, like right now I'm making chicken tortilla soup, so it really doesn't need it. But let's say I did white wine. I would put it in now and kind of evaporate it out a little. Also known as, what's that word? I'll think of it on the next round. I'm going to go for a second, so you don't have to just watch this cook. Okay, see, you can see it's changed a little. It's got a little bit of color on it. Looks lovely. I added my garlic. So this is a good point. If you were, so we would have added the wine. And we also, if we're using any sort of fresh or dry herbs in addition to this, with the fresh herbs I would be adding kind of now. So like I'm going to put the bay leaves in because this little extra heat helps bring out the oils in them. So there's 2 fresh bay leaves from my garden, which my yard. I could be fancy and say garden. Alright, so since this is, like if I would be using fresh thyme if I was making cream of mushroom soup, for example. Okay, so now I'm going to pour in some other things. So we're going to start layering the vegetables. And I'm going to add petite, that way we don't have to mess around with it all the time. I'm adding petite cut tomatoes and rich sauce. I don't deviate and buy all the ones with the garlic or the other stuff in it because I don't want to change my flavor. I know what I'm making. But some people like me to buy different flavors sometimes for some of the sauces. So tomatoes always a little better if you cook it a little bit. Like when you're adding tomato paste to a dish, you need to cook the tomato paste for a little while. And take the tinniness out of it. So we'll do that. And then we're going to add some Ortega chilies because that makes it look pretty. Okay, chilies. That looks good enough. Oops. Oh, it's hard to do with one-handed. So add some chilies in it. And then, how about some corn? So Mick always makes extra corn, and this already had butter on it at one time. So I'm going to open this with my teeth because I only have one hand. So I'm going to add some frozen corn. So we just keep it and add it to recipes. So this was corn that was actually cooked on the barbecue. And then I kind of eyeball that. You know, what did I put in? A cup? Yeah, that looks like enough corn. Yummy. Okay, I have to do something with my other hand, so I'll be back. Okay, so now I'm going to pour in 1 box of stock. Generally, I use 2 boxes, and these are the 32 ounce, because I give my neighbor food every day when I make soup. So up to this point, if I put vegetable stock in, this is a vegetarian dish. Because why can't vegetarians have tortilla soup, right? Ooh, look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful already? So I just have to decide how much extra soup I'm going to make. But I probably will add in at least, because remember we're going to add a bunch of chicken to this. And we don't want it all thick. So some people make tortilla soup make it a little thick, you know, but I don't because I like it brothy. Okay, I'm going to add some more in here. Probably half of that box, the second box. Okay, alrighty, and that will take the extra chicken. And then I'm going to use this. This is the ultimate cheater. Now, there's the chicken fajita mix, Lawry's. I want you to know that I have every seasoning known to man. And I cook with all these seasonings all the time. I have every different kinds of things. But sometimes it's just easier and you get the flavor that you want. And this has a little bit of smoky flavor. So I put this in. And then depending on the stock that I bought, it's how chickeny it's going to taste. But every once in a while, if you need to add a little salt or a little chicken flavor to something, if you think it's too weak, you're going to use this. Now this is like adding a salt lick. You could buy the Knorr, or I think there's another brand. It's the granules. Wiley. And anyway, like, you need to be really sparing with this. Don't just think you're going to dump a bunch in. Like a tablespoon might be too much. So, look at this. So, last thing I'm going to add. Oh, I was showing you the kitchen counter instead of the soup. Last thing I'm going to add is some white cabbage. I'm going to shred up some white cabbage. And let's see what this tastes like. Okay, here, I'm going to try it. Good. So it's perfect. Isn't that funny? Little salt and pepper. That thing, it's perfect. So since I didn't have time to go to the store, or Mick didn't have time to go, we had to buy rotisserie chicken. So, and when I turn this off, I'll be stripping up the chicken, and I'm going to simmer this for a while. I'll cook down the rest of the vegetables. The carrots still might have a little texture on them. I'm going to add my cabbage, which I'll show you in a minute. And then we will add the chicken as I might not have told you, sorry. I don't like meat that's cooked to death. So if I boiled that chicken that's already cooked in there with this, it's just going to be fibery, and you're not even going to know why it's there. I like to add my meat, if it's pre-cooked, at the last minute so that you can still actually go, oh, that's chicken, oh, that's ham. So anyway, here we are. It's going to start to simmer. So I always like to simmer a soup, even though this is essentially cooked. I can add the chicken and we can eat it now. I like to simmer it for about an hour, and just a little simmer. And then I'm going to add the chicken, and then I'll serve it. And then we can crunch up tortilla chips or put some finely grated cheese on the top, or maybe a piece of avocado. So, see you in a second. Okay, I used my 2 hands, and I chopped up some cabbage, white cabbage. And why I put white cabbage in, I've always done it. Well, I'm a cabbage lover anyway. You can't really taste it, but I think once again it adds some texture. So I'm going to put this on the side here to make sure I don't add too much, because remember, I only have 1 hand. Now, so what's going to happen when you put this in? It's going to wilt, and all the moisture that's in here is going to add into the soup, which means it could dilute the flavor. So the flavor should be richening, becoming richer or more, whatever. Yeah, I think that's a good amount. So anyway, so you should be okay, but it's nice to test. When you start, you test it, delicious, and then you just keep adding stuff, it's going to dilute the flavor. So that's just a perfect amount, a little bit of cabbage. Doesn't that look beautiful? And then that's really it. So what did I do? I added garlic, celery, onions, carrots, tomatoes, green chilies, and we did the mild ones because that's what we had in the cupboard. You could do medium. And then I added some cabbage, and at the end I'll add the chicken. Here, let me put this in something prettier so you can kind of see what it looks like. Here, this is a good spoon. So see all the vegetables? But we need stock, and that's why I didn't want to do the full 2. Oh yeah, we had corn. Oh, there's my bay leaf. I'm going to show you the finished product when it's done, when I add the chicken. I hope this helped you. So basically, you don't have to be, I did a lot of things here. I have the chicken broth. So I made a beautiful dinner, and it's homemade. And with the exception of this, I controlled the salt. And if we use organic chicken stock, and it doesn't have a lot of salt in it, but let's see, there's probably a bunch of salt in it, but then again, I really don't care. 340, but mind you, 10 people can eat it, so I don't think it's that bad, but you guys decide on that. So anyway, there's chicken tortilla soup, little crumbled up stuff. It's gonna be awesome. Bye. So I opened up the lid, and what I smelled was the corn. Isn't that interesting? I think my hands are clean. So I'm going to put the chicken in now. So that was a whole rotisserie chicken. You know, they're skinny little rip-offs. Let's scoop this up. So in case you don't know, you take the bay leaf out. And I put 2 in. Why we put bay leaves in, I have no earthly idea. But everybody's supposed to. And they talk about in the cooking shows, oh, fresh bay. Wow, it makes all the difference. So there's the other one, guy. Just take it out. And then I'm going to get a big spoon. And I'm going to see Mick. I think that's good. I don't normally put all the chicken in because I want a nice mixture. See, that looks like a perfect amount of chicken. All right, I'll put some in a bowl. I need my other hand. There it is. I put some in a bowl. I put some chips, a little bit of cheese, and some sliced avocado. Oh, that looks messy. About that now. You can't see how messy that bowl looked. Yay! Chicken tortilla soup. Bye! Thanks for watching. Please visit my website, mealsandentertaining.com, and see my available ebooks. Plus, subscribe to my channels, and don't forget to follow me, like me, or love me.